Chip companies reported their best year ever in sales, but the White House sounding the alarm on semiconductor shortages. President Biden warning this isn't just an economic issue, but also a national security issue. Joining us now with what the administration plans to do to increase chip production here in the U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo is here. Madam Secretary, thank you for joining us. This has been a persistent challenge throughout the past, frankly, 2 years. And I think there are real questions about how long this is going to persist and what it really takes at this point to change the dynamic.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. It's been a problem long in the making. As you know, Silicon Valley was created. We created the semiconductor industry here in America. And over the past few decades, we've just allowed ourselves to fall behind. And now we just don't make enough chips in the United States of America on our shores. When the president says it's a national security risk, he's exactly right. And the reason is this, Andrew. We don't make any of the world's most sophisticated, smallest, leading-edge chips in the United States of America. Somehow we've allowed ourselves to get into a position where we are utterly dependent on Taiwan for those chips. And those are the very chips that you need in artificial intelligence, high-end computing, right, communications, military equipment. So the bottom line is we need to invest in American R&D and chips, but really we just need to stimulate the production of more facilities here in America.
So what does that really mean, and what companies do you think can drive this? Because ultimately what I think we're talking about is subsidizing private industry to go do this in a way that they haven't before, to make this a more profitable enterprise and something that's more attractive. Obviously, Intel is doing it. There have been subsidies provided to them. But do you believe that there are other companies in this country that actually have the know-how that is competitive with what's happening inside Taiwan, for example?
Yes, I do. By the way, America still leads the world in design and software and the tooling, the equipment to make the chips. So yes, I do. By the way, there are other companies around the world in our allied countries, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, who we believe will, we want them to put operations, expand their operations in America. So
by the way,
the important thing is that it's on our shores.
To that point, though, there has been a question about Taiwan Semiconductor. And if you believe long-term that company and that country represents a national security threat, right? Long-term, if you believe that China may one day either take over Taiwan or something of that nature, how do you think about leveraging that company in the context of what we're trying to do here in the United States?
Yeah, it's something we think about. By the way, that's why we need American companies and other companies that you point out exactly why we're working on this so hard, because we are dangerously dependent on one company, TSMC, in one country, Taiwan, which is, as you correctly say, in a fragile situation. I do need to say this. You asked me how we're going to do it. We have an opportunity right now, literally today and tomorrow. There is a bill weaving its way through Congress, the America Competes Act, the CHIPS Act, and Congress must act. I don't know how anyone in the House doesn't vote yes on this tomorrow. If you're serious about competing with China, if you're serious about investing in American competitiveness, you have to vote yes on this bill. The vote's happening today or tomorrow in the House, and in that bill is a $52 billion appropriation to do exactly what we're talking about, which is work with private companies in public-private partnerships to incentivize them to develop, create, establish fabs in America.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.